that we've got money for war, but we can't feed the poor. The estimated cost is $3 billion.
Jasmine Crockett just unloaded on Congress over war spending, the Constitution, and the Epstein files. And the hearing instantly turned explosive.
I'm going to start with Tupac. We're going to start with the fact that Tupac famously said, for those of you that didn't necessarily listen to rap, that we've got money for war, but we can't feed the poor. And the reason that I bring this up is for two reasons. Number one, in order to get Maduro, the estimated cost is $3 billion. I can guarantee you that a lot of Americans would say, yes, there's a valid warrant and things like that, but for the cost of $3 billion, let's put our money somewhere else. Number one. Number two, Professor, you talked about the fact that if there wasn't the loss of life as it relates to our service members, or if this was just kind of quick boots on the ground for a second, then it wasn't war. So just answer this question for me. Would you consider what is taking place currently in the Middle East a war, because we continue to have our sons and daughters returned in caskets to the United States? That's a yes or no?
No, the analysis for Iran is different.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you agree with me then? Yes?
I didn't say that yet.
Oh, okay, it's different analysis. So I'm just going to go with you agree with me, because this is clearly a war and it's unconstitutional. That is the bottom line. And frankly, as it relates to Venezuela, I think that we still will have some time to determine exactly how bad it is. Because imagine for 2 seconds that you had fishermen and sailors that were coming from the United States, and Venezuela all of a sudden started bombing our people, saying, oh, no, you're bringing guns. Because let me be clear, America does their fair share of nonsense in other countries. We tend to supply everybody with the guns. We flood this world with guns everywhere, right? So let's say they said, you know what, we don't want all those guns going to the gangsters in our communities, so we're just going to start blowing people up. And frankly, legally, that may work for them. You know why? We have a constitution, and not everybody does. And so it is offensive to sit here and engage in this conversation as someone who practiced criminal law. And my God, everyone that I had, no matter what they were accused of, even if they were accused of capital murder, they were given an opportunity to actually show up in court and face their accusations, not be killed. So the justification, I don't understand why we are trying to make it partisan. It should not be partisan to just go and blow up these boats. Are you saying, Professor, that you believe that blowing up these boats because somebody believes it? You know what? Let me do it this way. Let's say they are drug traffickers. Do you believe that it is constitutional for the United States to blow up people that are accused of being drug traffickers?
So it's not going to be a yes or no question. If I could take
then I'm gonna stop you there, because I only got so much time. And Professor, I was really loving on you because you came from South Texas, which is down in Houston, not too far from the University of Houston, where I got my law degree. But it is very clear that it is unconstitutional for us in the United States. Let me give y'all another issue that I don't understand if y'all see it the way that I do. There's this little thing called the Epstein files. There's a lot of people that have been found liable, charged, all kinds of stuff, from Prince Andrew and Peter Mandelson, from Norwegian officials, the former prime minister, and the former ambassador, all these different people, right? Some would argue, especially since there was international trafficking that was taking place, some would argue that our president, whose name is found over and over and over and over in these files, may have engaged in, say, child trafficking, sex trafficking. They may come to that conclusion. Now, with that being the understanding, if there are other countries that believe, because they believe in actually holding people accountable, okay? So they say, you know what? There were some girls from England or wherever, because there were people from different countries, and they say, you know what, we gonna just come and we're gonna drop in on America. We're going to bomb America. We're going to kill civilians in America, because you know what? We have a warrant for his arrest. Whether it's for the child sex trafficking in the Epstein files because America doesn't want to do their job, or whether we're talking about violating international law, whether we're talking about going and just randomly killing people, I can tell you that every single one of you that is sticking up for him right now would be screaming from the rooftops. The analysis has to be the same. I am so offended that I am still paying my daggone student loans for law school, and it seems like none of it matters nowadays, because seemingly what we do is we twist the law to justify. The analysis is the same. If you would be outraged if they came and bombed our country to go after him to arrest him, if you're listening, that I don't know if people are doing this. But if they decided to do that because of the Epstein files or because of violating international law, you all would be against it. So we should be against it right now. Thank you, I'll yield.
Crockett opened with a cultural reference that immediately set the tone. She quoted Tupac Shakur, "We've got money for war, but we can't feed the poor." That line framed her entire argument. Her point was simple. If the government can allegedly mobilize billions of dollars for foreign military objectives, why does Congress constantly say there isn't enough money for healthcare, education, housing, or student debt relief? She specifically referenced an estimated $3 billion cost tied to operations involving Venezuela, and argued many Americans would rather see that money spent domestically. That's a message that resonates far beyond partisan politics, because economic frustration is everywhere right now. Gas prices, housing costs, healthcare expenses, student loans. Millions of Americans feel financially squeezed. So when lawmakers debate military spending, voters immediately start comparing those numbers to problems at home. But Crockett didn't stop at economics. She pivoted directly into constitutional arguments, challenging testimony that attempted to distinguish certain military actions from war. And this is where the hearing became especially intense. Crockett argued that Americans are still seeing U.S. service members returning home in caskets from Middle East operations. From her perspective, trying to avoid calling that war is political wordplay. That exchange exposed a deeper divide in Washington. One side argues presidents need broad authority to respond rapidly to threats abroad. The other side argues Congress has slowly surrendered too much constitutional war-making power to the executive branch over decades. Crockett clearly landed in the second camp. But the most explosive portion came later, when she flipped the geopolitical argument back onto the United States itself. She asked lawmakers to imagine another country bombing targets inside America under the justification of pursuing criminals or traffickers. That hypothetical comparison was designed to force Congress to confront what she sees as a double standard in international policy. Then came the moment that will likely dominate social media clips. Crockett brought up the Epstein files. She referenced international allegations tied to figures named in those records and argued that Americans would be outraged if foreign governments used similar logic to justify military or law enforcement action inside the United States. That instantly